In a year that the defense took a step back, Jessie Bates was one of the only ones that remained consistent. In today's NFL, to be a great safety, you have to be able to do some of everything. When you think of a position that always shows flashes on the TV, you think of corners, edge rushers, defensive linemen, but you really rarely think safety. And Jessie Bates is one of those rare exceptions where a safety is always flashing on the TV. Whether it be to a fan or somebody who understands the game on a higher level, Jessie Bates is always making plays. And Jessie Bates' ability to play the safety position neck up is why he outplayed this terrible scheme that was run last year. So in this video, we're going to look at his 2024 tape and we're going to talk about why he is still the best safety in the league, in my opinion. At the very least, he's no lower than 3, because putting Kirby Joseph above him after 1 year is criminal. But anyways, y'all, before we get into this video, if you guys do enjoy this, be sure to like and subscribe for more. I upload Falcons content often, and let's get into the film. Alright, so for the first few clips, I'm going to show y'all what Jessie does in the run, because nobody really talks about his run defense. I think when we talk about safeties as far as run defense, he's probably still top 3. I put Kyle Hamilton and Antoine Whitfield probably above him, but I think he's still one of the best run defending safeties in the league. What the Steelers are doing, they're going to be doing outside zone. We already know what this is. You know, we had Arthur Smith on our team, so we just pretty much know what he's doing. And he's going to turn, he's going to boot out this way after tossing it. And Najee's just trying to get a head start, but we're just trying to get high here on the edge outside the numbers, okay? And also they're going to do this with a motion, and he's supposed to be someone like a lead blocker, but you know, they do a good job of setting the edge. So we're going to watch this as it plays out. I'm going to show y'all what I like about this. So we fast forward just a little bit and you're going to see how this develops. So if you stop it right here, you see where everybody is and you see the angles of pursuit are created right here. Troy, he's going to try to get in right here as a Mike backer, or if the run's going your way, like we said before, you shut the front door. So he's going to get in that lane. Caden's going to get over top of this guy, but he's going to end up getting double teamed anyways. But let's just pay attention to where the lane is created, because everybody has this thing taken care of front side, and he really can't get on the edge because also AJ is setting the edge too. So look at where the lane is created. It's created right here. That cutback is right here. And guess who's coming to field? Jessie Bates the third, bro. So a lot of safeties aren't eager to do this. If this was Justin Simmons right here, I don't think he's doing this, because if you look at Justin, bro, he's still backing up. Most safeties do back up, like I've said before. Instinctually, they back up. But you see Jessie, he's getting in there. And he sees that lane and he's taking it. And they did get chippy a little bit earlier. So after this play, he's going to throw his leg up. But what I like about this is just he's just triggering on it. Like, we have 2 Jessie Bates on the roster, bro, because Jessie and Xavier play just alike. And that's what I like about it. I hope he's going to start. But back to Jessie, bro, you see this. He's filling that lane and he's seeing it and he's going. That quick trigger is what we want. That's why he's so good. That trigger is quick. All right, so we're flipping into the end zone angle, and this is just the very next week. They're running pretty much the same thing, where you're going to have everybody basically zone blocking this way, and then you're going to have that motion to a lead block, but I'm going to show y'all where it goes wrong, okay? So he's supposed to get on this edge and go be a lead blocker. I'm thinking in theory they were supposed to, Dallas Goedert and I don't even know his name. They're supposed to double James Smith-Williams and go back to Troy. And then you'll probably get your next double team going back to Caden, because that's how it's really created, okay? You're trying to create a large horizontal flow for that cutback. You're trying to get these guys to over pursue. And so that running back, he's going to take that initial path outside and cut it back. That's how Saquon was getting a lot of his long runs, okay? But let's watch this and how it plays out. We're not looking at Jessie just yet, okay? But you're going to see how this is supposed to go, where you see all this lateral movement. So we back it up just a little bit and let's focus on Jessie. So you see he's coming down because for one, they're in 13 personnel. That means 3 tight ends, 1 running back, okay? And you see he's already coming down. He's like, okay, they probably finna run this ball right behind these tight ends. And that's exactly what they do, right? And so we're going to see this tight end, he doesn't really block James Smith-Williams, okay? And so let's look at the angles of pursuit real quick, okay? So Mike Hughes is off screen, but we're going to just count him in this too, where he's pretty much setting that edge right here. I can't really get my arrow on him. Then Jessie, he would in theory supposed to take him on, but he's going to actually just get right off of him. James Smith-Williams coming right at Saquon, and then you have your backside pursuit by Arnold Ebiketie, and Caden Ellis is watching Saquon like a hawk. He's literally mirroring him. And Troy with his head cut off all the time, he's literally just going. And we like that about him. But Caden is ready for that cutback in case he decides to cut that back. But let's focus back on Jessie again, because let's look at what he does. This is what I like about him. He's not necessarily stacking and shitting, but he's getting off of these blocks. Like, in theory, think about this. This is a tight end. You would love a tight end. Like, I'm an offensive mind. I would want a tight end blocking the safety because I know he can win that matchup. But this is Jessie Bates. This is where X's and O's become Jimmy's and Joe's, right? Jessie gets off of that block, gets off of another failed attempt to block, and they get 5 yards off of this because Jessie knew what he was looking at, and he got ahead of this whole thing and created a negative play. That's just what we want from him. He's going to keep doing it, and he's still the best safety in the league, okay? That's what I think. So this play right here is this forced fumble against the Bucks. It was like the first play of the game. And once again, we got just basic zone running where everybody is zone blocking to the right side of the screen. We're also going to have a motion. I promise you this was not on purpose, where I have a motion on every single play. And I'm assuming he's just blocking over there because he goes off screen. So once again, if you really don't know zone blocking, so we're going to use this for an example. He's trying to get on this guy's play side shoulder to keep this run going this way, and he's going to find a lane to cut back off of that, okay? So if we're going to use this side of the ball, you would have block right here. They would double team to the nearest guy that's going to be behind whoever this guy is. So let's say a guy's right here, okay? They will double team to him. And then you also just have a single block right here trying to get on his play side. You would probably scoop this. That means you would get this shoulder on this side of the helmet. That's what scooping is, basically. And if we look at Jessie and we look at really just this side from the tackle over, I want to show y'all what I'm talking about when run defense is a team thing. So we're going to see this motion. They're going to get everything flowing to the right. And as you can see, man, we do a good job right here. Judon, he's on the outside. Nate Lamb is flowing hard over the top. Grady Jarrett is doing a good job of maintaining this double team. David Onyemata, he got stood up, but he's really not, you know what I'm saying? He's preventing this run from getting into his hole. Caden Ellis is also in the very same hole. And then James Smith-Williams, he's on the backside shoulder of this guy, which means this guy did his job, okay? He's on the play side shoulder with his opposite shoulder. So the running back sees all of this, and you're probably thinking there's nowhere to run. So your rule is to just cut this back because you don't see anything develop in front side because everything's locked up. So if we move it forward even more, you see this running back is looking at the guy off camera, and that is Mike Hughes. So if Mike Hughes were to not be in this position, if he was all the way over here, let's say he was just like right about here, Rashad White can cut this all the way back and change the field and probably get an explosive run off of this, okay? But like I said before, run defense is a team thing. If one guy's out of position, it's going to look bad for everybody. And Mike Hughes does a good job of being that contained guy, and he's sitting right there being disciplined. And you see this lane opens up right here. Now, James Smith-Williams gets his hands on him, and he's going to actually influence this ball a little bit. So he cuts him back into this lane. You see he's getting that hand on the ball. It's going to loosen that up, as you can see, and then boom. Jessie saw it. It was so instinctual because I think he saw it, man. I think he's looking at that the entire way. He's like, oh, I can get that. And then boom, he just punches it out and falls on it. And, 1st and 10 for the Falcons right there. But once again, I keep stressing run defense is going to be a team thing. And you see he's doing his job. He's feeling late in that cutback lane. Mike Hughes was in position. James Smith-Williams got a hand on that ball. Good team defense right here. All right, so before we get into the splash plays, I'm going to show y'all more of the dirty work, or, the unsung plays that really don't get talked about. So the Saints, they're running quick game. They're in like the low red zone almost. And so quick game, you just split the field and have to run two different concepts, okay? So on this side of the concept, you're running a stick nod concept where you have a Omaha and a stick nod, which means you're going to act like you're running a stick route and then nod it back as if you're running a post. But then on the back side of this, you have a spacing concept where you're going to have MVS go over the ball and sit it down. You're going to have Taysom Hill do like he's doing a wheel route and sit it down. Then you're going to have a swing route. It's really supposed to be an error route to really influence that flat defender immediately, but it's a swing route, but you pretty much get the same element. It just develops a little bit slower. And the way this is set up, you can look at this first and then progress backside if you don't like what you want, because some quick game is like that, but most of the time it's just one high, two high, one high, two high. Like you just splitting the field in half. So our boy Jesse's right here, and so we're going to see that once this ball is snapped, he's following Derek Carr's eyes. So he's looking at the safety. You look at that weak side safety first to figure out what they're doing. He's staying high. and Jesse is looking at him, looking at Justin, and he's cheating over there. And once he sees both of them break out, he gets his eyes back on Derek Carr, as you can see. Now they're looking dead at each other. Like, what you finna do now, bro? So look, he's gonna evade the pocket, because in quick game, when your first two reads aren't there, you have to run. You have to extend the play, make something happen. So they make this happen. He's going to extend the play. He's going to get it out to their running back, okay? And you think AJ is in the perfect position to make this play, right? Wrong. He misses the tackle, but Jesse forces that fourth down, because this was a third down play, and they had to kick a field goal after this. But like I said before, being a safety, it really isn't all glamour, highlight plays and everything like that. It's just plays like this where you're keeping your defense in a favorable position, where it's fourth down and you're probably forcing, hey, do we kick a field goal or do we risk turning the ball over, right? These are the plays that don't get talked about, and I need people to talk about these more, because I don't see why we wouldn't talk about a play that could have been an easy touchdown, and instead, because of Jesse realizing what's going on, it's a fourth down. Like, these plays change games. We should have won this game, mind you, but this was a good play by Jesse. All right, so one thing that really doesn't get talked about with Jesse too is his man coverage ability. We talk about his ball hawking skills, but nobody talks about his man-to-man ability, and I really hate it. So the Eagles right here, they're going to be running pretty much a pure progression read, where you have a fade right here on the outside. You're going to have a out route. They're gonna be running it at the goal line, obviously. They're trying to score, but they have something you can progress to backside, which is just HB trail, where you have a corner route, but since it's going to be in the end zone, you're going to flatten it off like an out route. You're going to have a shallow route or a low cross. Then you're going to have your running back running this Texas route. So in theory, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but you rarely ever get to number 5. You at most, you want to stay to 1 to 2. So I'm thinking Jalen's just reading, okay, do I have my out route? All right, let me get over here to the middle of the field, because that's where my next two reads are, right? It's really just 1, 2, 3, okay? Because also this route is most likely alerted, because if you had AJ in press right here, you're probably throwing that first, okay? Or you're probably reading it first rather, but you're not, because he's already off coverage and it's getting really messy. But so let's go ahead and get rid of that. So like I said before, Jesse and his man coverage ability is probably, you can't even really name 5 safeties who can cover man-to-man from depth at that, right? So let's look at this. Let's look at the technique. So when this ball is snapped, he's getting low. He doesn't really give up his leverage. He's just mirroring the receiver, because he's taking an outside stem, and that outside stem leads to an outbreaking route, and he's looking at those hips, and once he broke out, he's driving on it, right? And then this is not it. He's a little bit of ways away from this catch, right? But once he closes that distance, guess what? You play through the hands. Like, you don't have safeties instinctually doing this all the time. And I'm trying to tell y'all, this is not normal for a safety to do every time. They normally play the receiver instead of the ball. And that's probably a touchdown with any other safety, because they're playing the receiver and not the ball, right? Or they would try to undercut it for some reason, knowing they're not in a position to get that. But we got Jesse, who's smart. He plays like a corner, but at safety. You see corners making these type of plays, man. This is elite ball right here. Off man reps at the goal line with 6 points on the line, bro. This was a third down too, as you can see. Third down, another stop where they got to force a field goal. Like, this is elite, bro. So for this clip, it's a lot going on. This was an entire chess match for this play right here, y'all. So we're gonna first start out by doing this motion, okay? You see, you're gonna get a fake snap by Mahomes. He's gonna motion Sky Moore over. And you see, like I always say before, if you have a guy following you across the formation in the motion, you have man coverage, okay? So you see D following, okay? But I want y'all to pay attention to what Pat does, all right? When he does this motion, Sky Moore is looking at that safety. He's looking to see if D's following, right? And he's gonna do another fake snap. And Jesse, he's going to roll down because of that, right? And so, bro, this is why I love football, right? So when he does that fake snap, Jesse walks down, D's following across the formation. Pat's like, oh, I got man coverage. So he's going to change the play. He changes this play, y'all. Okay. So we're probably thinking, well, what play is he doing? And the Chiefs love doing this when they get man coverage. We got mesh. So you're going to have the over, right? Then you're going to have the under, and then they're going to have something front side they can progress to first, or they're going to have something they can read first if they don't like the initial thing. So you're going to have a post with a wheel route, okay? So this is the first part of the read, and then you're gonna have a swing right here. So Mahomes is looking post wheel to the mesh, okay? He's not really reading this. This is a check down, because post wheel, you really don't necessarily read it 1 to 2. You're reading it 1. Now I'm going back down to my mesh. I'm going to be looking for this one, and then this is the last one you're trying to get to, okay? But this was the ultimate chess match pre-snap. This is what I like about quarterbacks. You see what the defense is in. Don't keep the original play call on, because you know it may not be good. But anyways, we're going to fast forward a little bit, and then he's going to snap it, okay? So Mahomes confirms what he's getting pre-snap. He's looking over here to see what we got first. He sees Caden Ellis matching that running back at the backfield. He sees these guys are looking at the receiver, right? And so once he sees that, he's know, okay, this is dead, right? Because these guys are both over top of these routes. Now he's getting over here to the mesh. He's looking at Travis Kelce. He's like, okay, he's finna set a pick for him, but the pick doesn't work, so he doesn't like it. So you know what that means? This guy, Jesse, he's gonna be behind this. And he was, okay? Mahomes throw this ball while he's getting pressure too, by the way. Shocker, we never get pressure, okay? He's gonna throw it. It was an accurate ball out in front, but guess what? We have Jesse playing through the hands once again, right? Like I said, y'all, safeties do not do this regularly. A regular safety is going for the tackle instead of the ball. Ball skills are so important for a safety, because you need things like this to happen, where once again, another third down, and they gotta punt the ball, man. This is elite safety play, bro. Even when the best quarterback in the league thinks he's got the defense figured out, you just can't account for things like this, because Jesse's just that elite. All right, so this right here is the last play I want to show y'all. This is obviously the pick six, so I wanted to break this down for y'all. So offensively, what we got the Giants doing, they're running snag. So you're gonna have Malik Neighbors. He's gonna run out and pretty much be like a little swing route. You're gonna have a corner route by the number 3 receiver, okay? Then you're going to have the number 2 receiver go settle over the ball, okay? That's pretty much what snag is. You're trying to pretty much read him. Whatever he does, you work off of him. If he expands to that flat, you're gonna hit this snag. If he sticks with this, you're going to have this swing route, especially against off coverage, because you know you can get this quick, especially Malik Neighbors against Mike Hughes. On paper, you like that matchup, okay? And then backside, you're gonna have a chip, and he's going to get into a dig. So defensively, what the Falcons are doing, they're running a 33 blitz. We already know what this is. So we got a 5-man pressure, okay? We're going to have Jesse come over and play the middle hook, right? We're going to have a seam to flat right here by JD Bertrand. You already know middle of the field by Justin Simmons. What I did notice is that they used him more like this to protect him from the run fits, right? Because he could not tackle, right? Then you had another deep throw right here, and then you could just lock this backside since there's nothing else. Because if this running back is fast to the flat, you would have him go out there for it, okay? Because you still want to man this up backside. You letting AJ just go be the man-to-man corner that he is, right? So we get into the play, it was obviously a illegal motion by Malik Neighbors, because he was just kind of jogging forward. But let's look at how this play starts, right? So in 33 blitz, when you have a middle hook by whoever it is, whether it's the linebacker or the safety, whatever, your job is to carry number 3 up, and wherever he goes, you're going to match him. So number 3 is pushing vertical, right? But he also realizes, hey, I know I got AJ locked backside. I know that these two guys, they will squeeze that seam if he runs that seam, okay? So he's staying right here. He's looking at the quarterback. The quarterback's looking at him. He's looking at the quarterback. Quarterback's looking at him. They're looking at each other, okay? Cool. But he's still also getting in his drop. So he knows that, once again, if I just sit right here, I know Justin can get that seam. I know Mike Hughes is going to squeeze that, especially when I'm seeing number 2 come in. They would pass that off. So he's already looking for this, right? And it also helps that, once again, we're going to look at Caden Ellis. He gets a free shot on the running back, and he's going to get right by that and pressure Drew Lock. But this is what pressure creates turnovers, right? So when he seen number 2 go settle in this little snag route, he's already on it because he's seen it all the way. I don't know if the Giants ran this before, right? But if they did and he already knew what was coming, this is even more extra credit points for him because he saw it coming from a mile away. And guess what? We got 6 points off of this. So if you have a guy like this who can decipher what's going on, who understand where his help is, who can capitalize on pressure created, who's just, it seems like he's everywhere, man. You have stuff like this happening. Jesse, he's still elite. He's still probably the best safety in the league, in my opinion. Don't put Kirby Joseph over him. I know I'm just throwing shots, but still, Jesse's the best safety in the league, and y'all gotta live with it. Y'all gotta live with it.